Hello everyone, in this video we are going to start a very interesting and important chapter from class 10th chemistry, that is mole concept and stoichiometry. So first of all we will discuss a few points from the gas laws of class 9th chemistry. So the first was Boyle's law. As you know, according to Boyle's law, when the temperature is kept constant, the pressure of a gas is inversely proportional to the volume of the gas, or you can say volume of the gas is inversely proportional to the pressure of the gas. So from there we will get an expression that is P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 when temperature is constant. So P represents pressure, V represent volume. So if P1 is the pressure of a given gas in first condition and V1 was its volume, and P2 is the pressure of the gas in second condition and V2 its volume, then the product of pressure and volume will always remain constant if the temperature is kept constant. So the second is Charles' law. So in Charles' law, if the pressure of a gas is kept constant, then the volume of the gas is directly proportional to its temperature, or from there you can get an expression that is V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. So the thing that you have to remember is pressure is constant. Now from these two expressions we get the gas equation, that is PV by T is constant. So you can say P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2, that is always constant. So the ratio of PV by T is always constant for a given gas. So this is what we have studied in class 9. Now one more thing, that is standard temperature and pressure. So you must remember what is standard temperature. So standard temperature, that is 273 Kelvin, or you can say 0 degrees Celsius, it is taken standard temperature. And what is the standard pressure? That is 180 m or 760 mm Hg, or you can say 76 centimeter Hg. So this is standard temperature, that is 273 Kelvin, and standard pressure is 180 m or 1 atmospheric pressure, or that is also equal to 760 millimeter of Hg or 76 centimeter of Hg, that is mercury. So hope you remember these points from the class 9th chemistry. Now the topic that we are going to discuss today is Gay-Lussac's law of combining volume, because this is very important topic and you may get so many numericals from this topic. So you have to remember what does the law say and what kind of numericals you can get from here. So the law says that when two or more gases react together, they bear a simple whole number ratio with each other and also with the product if the products are gases, given that the temperature and pressure is kept constant. So what does it say? For example, if we have a chemical equation, right, H2, that is a gas, plus Cl2, so it is going to form, it is also a gas, it is going to form a new gas, that is HCl. So what does it say? It says that when two or more gases react together, so here hydrogen and chlorine react to form a new compound, that is HCl. Fortunately it is also a gas. So this law says that whenever two gases react, they will react in such a way that they will have a simple whole number ratio. So if you will see the ratio, and ratio can be obtained from their coefficient. So you can say there is one molecule of hydrogen and one molecule of chlorine, so their volume will also have same ratio. So the volume of hydrogen and chlorine will be in the ratio of 1:1. So they will have a simple whole number ratio, that is 1:1. And if the product is also a gas, like here, if the product is not a gas, then you don't have to follow same for the product. But if the product is also a gas, then the ratio will also be applicable for the product. So you can see, first of all, you have to balance the equation. So you can see, if one molecule of hydrogen and chlorine react, they will form two molecules of HCl. So what will be the ratio of their volume? That is 1:1:2. So ratio of the volume of hydrogen and chlorine will be 1:1:2. So if the only reactants are gases, then it will be applicable for only reactants. If the products are also gases, then it is also applicable for products. But one more condition is there, that all the volumes must be measured at a same temperature and pressure. Means the temperature and pressure at which the volume of hydrogen is being measured, at same temperature the volume of chlorine and volume of HCl should be measured, because you know that volume has a relation with pressure and temperature. So if you will change pressure or temperature, the volume of a gas will also change. So the volume of all the reactants and products must be measured under a given condition of temperature and pressure. So this is Gay-Lussac's law, and there are so many numericals which can be solved with the help of this law. We can see one more example. For example, if nitrogen combines, it is a gas, with hydrogen gas, it forms NH3. It is also a gas. So you have to remember that you must balance the equation. So the reaction is N2 plus 3H2 will give 2NH3. So what is the ratio of nitrogen, hydrogen and ammonia? That is 1 volume of nitrogen is to 3 volume of hydrogen is to 2 volume of ammonia. So this is how you can use Gay-Lussac law in different chemical equation. So hope you have understood this law. Now we will do some numericals on the basis of this law. So let's see the first question. What volume of oxygen would be required to burn completely 150 ml of carbon monoxide? Calculate the volume of carbon dioxide formed in the reaction. So what is the reaction? Carbon dioxide is being burned with oxygen. So carbon dioxide is being formed with the carbon monoxide and oxygen. So this is the chemical equation. We have to balance it. So first balance it. It is a gas, you know that carbon monoxide is a gas, oxygen is a gas and carbon dioxide is a gas. All of these substances are gases. So we have got the chemical equation. So our first work is to obtain the balanced chemical equation. Now we note that volume of carbon monoxide, that is 2, oxygen that is 1 and carbon dioxide is 1. So what is the ratio of volume of carbon monoxide, oxygen and carbon dioxide? That is 2:1:2. Now what does it say? That the volume of carbon monoxide is 150 ml. So volume of carbon monoxide is 150 ml. So let's say the volume of oxygen, which is not given, let's say it is x ml. So we have to calculate the volume of oxygen. Also find the volume of carbon dioxide. So what will we do? That volume of carbon monoxide by volume of O2. The ratio is given, that is 2:1. So let us say it is 2/1. So what is the volume of carbon monoxide? That is 150 ml. So write down the value, that is 150 by volume of oxygen. We don't know the volume of oxygen. Let's say it is x, that is equal to 2/1. So cross multiply, 2x equal to 150, or you can say x equal to 150/2, that is 75 ml. So we have got the volume of oxygen. Now we have to calculate the volume of carbon dioxide. So you already know that the ratio of volume of carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide, that is volume of CO by volume of CO2, that is in the ratio of 2:2. So that is 1:1. So you can say that volume of carbon dioxide is equal to volume of carbon monoxide. So that is equal to 150 ml. So we have got the volume of both. So this is your answer. This is the volume of oxygen and this is the volume of carbon dioxide. The next question is 100 ml of methane is burned in 250 ml of oxygen. Calculate the composition of resultant mixture if it is cooled to room temperature. So what do you have to remember here? That the equation is reaction of methane, that is CH4. Methane is a gas with oxygen. Oxygen is also a gas. And what will it form? It will form carbon dioxide and water. So because it is taken at room temperature, so water will be a liquid, not a gas. So you have to balance the chemical equation first. Hydrogen 2, then 2 oxygen. So hope it is balanced now. Now what is the ratio of gases? That is 1, it is 2, it is 1. So the ratio of methane to oxygen to carbon dioxide, its coefficient is 1, its coefficient is 2 and its coefficient is 1. So the ratio of volume will be 1:2:1. Also the volume is given, the volume of methane is given, that is 100 ml. Volume of oxygen is given, that is 250 ml. Now you can see that there are information which is more than the required information. If we know only the volume of one substance, we can calculate the volume of other substances. But there is the volume of methane that is given to us as well as the volume of oxygen. So what will we do here? We will calculate the ratio volume of CH4, that is methane, by the volume of oxygen. What will be the ratio? Ratio should be 1:2. So let us say for 100 ml of methane, x ml of oxygen is required, because we don't know how much volume of oxygen is required to react with 100 ml of methane. So what will we do? 100 by x is equal to 1/2, or from here you can calculate x is equal to 200 ml. Now the volume of oxygen that we get here, that is 200 ml, but the volume of oxygen that is given to us is 250 ml. So what does it mean? It means that we have 250 ml oxygen, but to react with 100 ml of methane, only 200 ml of oxygen is required. It means 50 ml of oxygen will remain unused. So means oxygen left, amount of oxygen left, you can say, or you can say that volume of oxygen left, that is equal to 250, because we had 250 ml of oxygen, but how much volume of oxygen is used in the reaction? That is 200. So what is the volume of oxygen left? That is 50 ml. Also, when the methane will react with oxygen, 100 ml of methane will react with 200 ml of oxygen. So 100 ml of methane will be exhausted. Now 50 ml of oxygen will be left, as well as carbon dioxide is formed. So how much carbon dioxide is formed? Let's see. So you can see from here the ratio of methane to carbon dioxide, that is 1:1. It means volume of CH4 is equal to volume of CO2, and that is equal to 100 ml. Now there may come a question in your mind that why did we take the volume of methane? We could also take the volume of oxygen, and the volume of methane can be taken as x. So what will happen if we do so? So let us say there is another condition in which the volume of oxygen is taken 250 ml to react with x ml of methane. So from here you can say that x by 250 will be equal to 1/2. From here 2x will be 250 or x will be 125 ml. So the volume of methane should be 125 ml. But we only have 100 ml of CH4. So we cannot have 125 ml of CH4. So we have to neglect this condition. We only can take this condition. So you have to remember this condition. If the amount of any substance exceeds the given amount, you cannot take that amount because you don't have that amount. We don't have 125 ml of methane here. We only have 100 ml of methane here. So we will take this condition. However, after the reaction, some amount of reactants may be left, but we cannot have the amount of a reactant more than the amount given to us. So hope you have understood this question. Now what is asked to us, that calculate the composition of resultant mixture. So resultant mixture after the reaction, what will be left? 50 ml of oxygen and 100 ml of carbon dioxide, and methane will be exhausted completely. Also the water will be liquefied, so water will be in liquid state. So this is the answer of the question. We will have 50 ml of oxygen and 100 ml of carbon dioxide in the gaseous mixture. The next question is, 300 ml of acetylene is burned completely in just sufficient air containing 20% of oxygen. Calculate the composition of resultant gaseous mixture at 100 degrees Celsius and 1 atm pressure. So what do you have to do first? We have to write down the chemical equation, and the reaction takes place between acetylene and oxygen. So when it is burned, acetylene, what is the formula of acetylene? That is C2H2. It reacts with O2. So it is going to form CO2 plus H2. So acetylene is a gas. It is also called ethine. Then it reacts with oxygen, which is also a gas. Carbon dioxide is also a gas, and water. So you can see that H2O, everything is taken at 100 degrees Celsius. So at 100 degrees Celsius, H2O will also be a gas. It will become water vapor at 100 degrees Celsius. So you have to remember this. Now we have to balance the chemical equation. So you can see there are C2H2 and H2O. So first of all you have to do it 4 and 2 H2O. So 4 O2 plus O2, that is 5 O2. Now your chemical equation is balanced. Now let's see to the question. What is the ratio of the volume of all the substances? That is 2:5:4:2. So what will be the ratio of acetylene, oxygen and carbon dioxide and water? That will be 2:5:4:2. So we have to calculate the composition of the resultant mixture. So first of all we have 300 ml of acetylene. So let us say the volume of oxygen be x ml. So what will be the ratio? Volume of same ratio by volume of oxygen that is given to us, that is equal to 2:5. Now what are we going to do? 300 by volume of O2, that is not given, that is equal to x. So will be equal to 2/5. So here 2x will be equal to 300 into 5, that is 1500, or you can say x is equal to 750 ml. So now we have the volume of oxygen. The volume of oxygen is 750 ml. But we have to calculate the composition of resultant mixture. So first of all we have to calculate the volume of carbon dioxide, then volume of water. So to calculate the volume of carbon dioxide, we will take the volume of C2H2. So let us say the volume of carbon dioxide is Y. Volume of carbon dioxide is Y. So volume of C2H2, volume of C2H2 by volume of CO2, that is equal to 2:4. So from here you can calculate the volume of C2H2, 300 by volume of CO2, that is Y, is equal to 2/4, that is 1/2. So Y is equal to 600 ml. So we have calculated the volume of carbon dioxide, that is equal to 600 ml. Now, the third thing that we have to calculate is the volume of water vapor. So volume of H2O, that is water vapor, is equal to, because the ratio is same, 2:2, so that will be equal to volume of C2H2, and that is equal to 300 ml. Now what is the problem? Actually we don't have pure oxygen here. In question we have sufficient air, means the air which contains 20% oxygen, and the air is sufficient for this reaction. So we have to assume here that air contains 20% oxygen and the remaining must be nitrogen. However, there are so many other gases, but we will consider that the remaining is nitrogen. Now the 20% oxygen, that is completely exhausted. You can see 20% oxygen because it is sufficient for the reaction. So the 20% oxygen, that was equal to 750 ml. So this is the volume of oxygen that was required for the reaction, and it is the volume of carbon dioxide that is formed. It is the volume of water vapor that is formed. Now we also have to calculate volume of nitrogen that was left, because nitrogen will not react in this chemical reaction. So nitrogen will remain unreacted. Only oxygen from the air will react and nitrogen will left unused. So what will be the volume of nitrogen? Only after that we can calculate the composition of resultant gaseous mixture. So we have the volume of oxygen in air, that is 20% oxygen and 80% nitrogen in air. So what will be the ratio of oxygen to the nitrogen? That will be volume of O2 by volume of N2, that is equal to 2 by 20 by 80, or you can say 2 by 8 or 1 by 4, or you can say volume of nitrogen is 4 times volume of oxygen. So volume of oxygen is given, that is 750. So you can calculate, that is equal to 4 into 750, that is equal to 3000 ml. Now you can see that volume of oxygen, that is 750 ml, that is completely exhausted because it is used in chemical equation. Reactant is completely consumed. Also this 300 ml of C2H2 is also consumed in the chemical equation because the reactant is consumed and product is formed. So what will be left? Only the product will be left, that is carbon dioxide. The volume of carbon dioxide is 600 ml. Then 300 ml of water vapor and 3000 ml of nitrogen. So what will be the composition of resultant mixture? The composition of resultant gaseous mixture contains 600 ml of carbon dioxide, 300 ml of water vapor and 3000 ml of nitrogen. So hope you have understood this question. If you have any doubt in any numerical problems or in any concept, you can ask your questions in the comment box, and if you have any numerical that you are unable to solve, you can also ask that question in the comments. Thank you very much.